My name is Adam Prince. I'm one of the educators. I get to teach and lead most of the field trips and the public programs that we do. And I believe it is my mission, it is my passion in life, is connecting people to nature. It's getting people excited about things out in nature, learning fun facts and how valuable wildlife is. So I take it upon myself to try to teach as many things as I can to kids and adults. I find that a lot of adults learn from our programs too. We have parents that bring their kids to programs, and the adults have just as much fun as the kids. So just connecting people to nature, giving them fun experiences with nature and wildlife, engaging their senses, handing them a little brown jug leaf and be like, this smells like ginger. This is an experience that you can have that isn't just looking at stuff and learning fun facts. I got started in birding. I grew up on a farm out in Harnett County, so I've always been around nature. My parents really encouraged me. Yates Mill is a great place for birds. We're right in the middle of a big hub of hotspots. So you have Yates Mill, and then right next to us is Mid Pines Road, and then just down the street is Lake Wheeler Marshes. So there's a lot of birds around here. At Yates Mill, we have quite a few different habitats. We have a large pond that feeds the mill. We have some upland wooded habitat, some lowland wooded habitat. We have some fields, since we're right on a bunch of ag fields. So there's a ton of different diversity for habitats for different kinds of birds. It's amazing to have this kind of habitat so close to downtown Raleigh. We're just a couple miles away from it. If you drive for 30 seconds, you can start to see the buildings. Places like this are incredibly important because habitat fragmentation is a huge problem for lots of animals. Birds can fly back and forth to different places, so it's not as big of a problem for birds, but having continuous and contiguous connections of land is really important. So having these habitats that are protected and a variety of habitats protected is very, very good for our wildlife, and it provides good places for the public to come and learn and appreciate the animals and plants that make up the land that they live around. Volunteership is incredibly important for what we do. We have a handful of volunteers that do a handful of different things. We have a couple volunteers whose only thing they do is to go out and cut down invasive plants. So they're cutting down Russian olive, privet, and things like that, and trying to maintain our forest as natural and native as possible. We have a couple of volunteers that just roam around the park and engage in the public and help just connect people and make sure everything's going the way it's supposed to be doing. We have a couple rules that we have to enforce and things like that. And then we have a couple volunteers that sit at our desk and help with our programs, and same thing like I do is help connect people to nature and share the importance. Another thing I haven't mentioned is that we are also a historical site. We have a mill that is almost 300 years old. It's still a currently operating mill. We grind corn in it every month. So the history of our park is still very important too, that we try to teach about as well. The oddest thing I've seen is not a bird. The oddest thing I've seen is an Amphiuma, a two-toed Amphiuma. It's a type of salamander that has really, really short legs, so it looks like a snake. I found one dried out in a puddle near the pond. So they're definitely one of the weirder things I've seen. I've seen an eel here as well. It's this really long, weird-looking fish. And then for plant-wise, we have trout lilies and some trilliums that grow in the park too. So we have quite a range of some random strange things. We are well known as a place to find water snakes. The northern water snake is the most common one that we have. The area below the dam by the mill, there's a large rocky outcrop that gets a good amount of sun. Perfect recipe for water snakes. We'll have as many as a dozen or 20 water snakes in that area at one time, swimming around and hanging out together. Ours are special. So I got my start in herpetology. So snakes are one of my favorite things, and then I got into birds more. But I've been all around the state looking at snakes, and the water snakes, the northern water snakes we have here, are pretty unique. They're red and orange, a lot more brightly colored than the brownish tan ones you see in other places. We actually had the first report of one this year last week. So it's February 9th right now, so we've already had the water snakes popping back up. But March is when they'll really start coming out. All we need is a sunny day. Doesn't have to be super warm, just needs to be sunny. If I had to encourage someone to get out here, I would just say that we provide a expedited experience. We have lots of different habitats that are close together, so in 30 minutes you can be right by the water, you can be out in the woods, you can be in a field, really close together. You can get 40 or 50 species within an hour. It's not that difficult to do at the right time of year. And on top of just birds, we have lots of really cool herptiles, reptiles and amphibians. We have a lot of really neat plants and things like that. So we provide a pretty wide range of natural experiences. All of our programs are available on our website. It's a wakegov.com website, and our Facebook page, Historic Yates Mill County Park Facebook page. We put all of our programs on both of those. We have posters and flyers we put around the park that you can find as well. So if you visit us, they'll all be listed. I try to lead a hike once a month. It's a generic, just getting people involved in nature. This month in February is the backyard bird count, so I'm theming that hike for birds. So sometimes it's themed, usually it's just get out in the park and find cool stuff.